Hello, welcome back to the last and final installment of Design Elements and Principles. The final one, variety. As I normally do, I'm going to go over everything. Just pre-note to everybody, everything closes Sunday at midnight. Sunday at midnight. I believe it is the 14th. We can look here. But everything will close on 12/14 at midnight, except for Contrast, which closes tonight at midnight, or is actually supposed to be closed. No, 12/4, 12, 12, 12. Well, I'll get that hidden, and then no big deal. I'll make sure that's just not in the way of anybody. So just finishing up, of course, make sure you have signed up for your next round of classes. As I always state, if they are full, you need to wait list. Please wait list so we know to open another section if possible. If you don't wait list and you just kind of go like, oh, I don't know, we won't know. We don't know who wants to take courses unless you sign up. Just thinking about it doesn't give us a gauge. So you need to actually wait list. And like I said, if we get 6 to 7, we'll open up an independent study, and hopefully that would lead to a full course. Independent study just is a small course, if possible, if it's possible. But we need to know, and you do that by registering. You look at this little list. You can download it and check it out, and just like mark off what you've taken, what you need to take, and work from there. I hope. I don't teach second semester courses, so I teach first and third. Oh, I do 128. I do that one. It's a quick one, but you really need to have a couple more things done. That's why it's at the end of second semester. But yeah, so make sure you register for your classes if you're going to be returning to us. Last quick quiz. Is this the one that's not set up right? All right. What does white space do in a layout? Improves the readability and focus. That's what it does. White space. It gives that space around objects. There you go. There's that one. Textbook, final one, time and motion. You will be learning about motion graphics in our motion graphics course when you take that. So it's good to know about this in advance. Like we're not always just dealing with flat art, but you will be dealing with time and motion as well, and setting this up, and it even works in flat art as well. So dig on in, let me know what you think, pick something out. We're all good. We have our variety lecture. I'll do the research project's the same as the last one. And then Project B Final, which is, I'll talk about it more in depth, but it's just like I did with the poster. You're going to turn it in tonight. I'm going to review everything tomorrow morning, get back to you, 1, 2, 3 changes if needed, and then you change it, and then you work on the final. It shouldn't take you very long. And then Sunday night. So without further ado, let's jump into variety and close out this little course of ours. All right, let's get down to business. Now, variety, much like the last subject we talked about, we're talking about like the overall structure of the entire piece. So like harmony, like is everything harmonious? Is it working together? But you can also have some variety in that, and that if everything works together so well, then nothing stands out. So you need a little bit of variety to help create interest, and just it creates interest. Whatever you can do to create interest. And also this depends, I guess a lot of this, when we talk about these items, it depends on what you're working on. There's so many different types of projects out there for designers that, if you're doing annual report, which generally aren't printed anymore, but annual report is a company at the end of their fiscal year we'll have a graphic designer set up their annual report, and it just goes through all this data. We earn this much money, we help this many people, and you design it. But that would be like where maybe variety isn't wanted. You want it clear, crisp, easy to read, straight through, boo. But then we're trying to deal with advertisement and getting people looking at things. Well, then we might want to use a little bit more variety in the design to get people interested in it. And we do it. It's just, as we talk about, it's just it is shapes, colors, textures, sizes, other visual characters. That's what it does. Contrast in variety. That's just the yin and yang. This and that. You could put black, you put white. You got yellow, you put purple. It's the contrast, big versus small. The differencing in contrast, helps with that variety. You have different sizes of things, which is great. And then we have different sizes. Let me just move that page down, of things. That creates variety, but it also helps us know what's important, what's not important. We have 3 boxes there. We're all going to go to this one first, then this one, then this one. Depending on it doesn't matter the order. I shouldn't look away when I'm doing it. But we can have variety, have people jump around, and then use, the contrasting shapes to work with that. Ooh, barely talked there for a second. Texture variety. If we talk back to that one poster where it was a piece of paper on the ground with the asphalt behind it, you have a smooth texture next to a very contrasty texture, and that's variety again. Combining, that's the smooth and rough. We, kind of went over that when we were talking about texture. There's a good one there. Oh, color variety. Again, done in a good way, it'll be great. But if you do just a rainbow of color, the unicorn, rainbow coming out of its horn. And it's like 80 different colors, and then your design is 80 different colors. It's going to be really tough for people to understand what's going on. But you can have a variety of colors in a way that helps people guide through. And we have an example over there on the other side where we deal with yellow. And yellow is the only color. It's not like they didn't do each thing they wanted wasn't a new color. They just used yellow as the color variety in the piece. Shape variety, of course. You got a plain little piece there, it's got a title, and it's got a picture, it's got another picture, it's got some text. These are thumbnails, what I'm doing right here. Like, this is how quick thumbnails can happen. But in the corner, we have a starburst with 20% off. Like, that signifies that, there's a different shape right there. We should be looking at that. It's a shape variety. Let's see what else we got. Typographic variation. I use this in every piece. Simply stated. Oh, here. Bold, not bold. What's important? Bold. It's not that it's less important, but it's easier to read. So I state that as like, but in the overall, look at this. I have the intro and exit, which are like intro and conclusion, are fully bold. And then the stuff in the middle, like, so it's almost like if you were simply glancing at this without reading it all, 90% of you, haha, make it fun, you should read the bolded text, and then you read the other text. It's more information. And if there's smaller text, then you read that information. So it all goes, with typography, it can be that way, but typography can also be when we talk about the variation in styles. if I have script and then I use a plain text, if I use bold serif with a sans serif, thin, all different types of variety to help the viewer understand where we're supposed to be reading, how we're supposed to be reading, what's important, what's not important. It's very cool stuff. Spacing and proximity. If you have everything jammed together, everything's gonna be jammed together. But if you separate something out, then people will notice it. So say we had like a piece like this, and I'm gonna grid it, like that pocket squares thing. But then up here, separated from everything else, is this one. Like spacing and proximity shows that like this may be somewhat more important than these just that are jammed together. I've brought it up and I'm stating, look at this piece alone, and then these can be looked at together. So that's that spacing and proximity. It also deals like, this is chunking, it's called, that you want all the information. So it deals when we do bullet points. The bullet point is a point in a line of text, a point in a line of text, a point in a line of text. And then these should be tight together with like a header, And then if I have another group, I leave an open space and then I do another header and then bullet point and text, bullet point and text, bullet point. So that this space in here indicates that this is one group and this is another group. So that's that spacing and proximity and how that works within a design. Pattern diversity. I mean, it just, there's nothing else to say except for this part. Adds complexity and intrigue. Kind of love that. Scale variation. I talked about that with the contrast, different sizes, what's more important. You can have different size items and it helps people realize, large is usually more important than small. That was like that reversed proportion thing I had you guys do where you can fake people out and, like somebody did, or I think I talked about it. Oh boy, that's really poor hand. That's a hand, and then you have a world in it. Like how could a hand be holding the world? That's like reverse proportion. It makes us think. And rhythm and repetition. Repeated elements can prevent introducing variety within repeated elements. So that's like that anomaly that I talked about. We have a repeated pattern and we switch it. And we're like, oh, that's interesting. That's brought me to it. So that's how we look at it in that form. So as we, conclude and these get quicker, it's like these last two, unity and variety, though opposites, are basic, are the same. And you use them in full in every situation to create different things, different ideas. But they encompass everything that every element that we talked about can be talked about in the terms of unity and variety. And that's why I kind of it seems like I've speed through this. It's not like I'm not interested in it like I was the other ones, but it's just naming every element and stating you can have variety in that element. And so it kind of gets to me a little bit repetitive, but not boring. Here we go. Look at the variety. There's no repeated objects. Like we have tomatoes, book, coffee, batter, wine, utensils, cork, flowers, pastry bag, jam on toast, jam. Nothing's repeated. There's a lot of variety there. But the idea of the varieties are all elements that you eat or eat with. So it all has to deal with food. So you have a huge variety, but so the variety is there, but the overlying concept is about food. Good enough to eat. So there we go. And this is like a cookbook. I think this is a cookbook over there. But everything there, even though nothing looks the same. And I would say, you're like, what about the flowers? Who's going to eat? That's like the table setting, get some flowers in the middle. So really great piece, tons of variety, yet it all comes together with unity and harmony because it's good enough to eat. Creating some interest. Oh, I hate that I can never grab this thing. It's go really high. Get that more in the center. We have variety here, contrast, and then we have it separated into two different sections, which makes it like more harmonious, or the color does. So when we're looking at this piece, we have it split. We have crazy up here and calm down here. Well, two C words, but crazy and calm. The calm, really easy to read, bold text. The variety here is this is a sans serif font paired with crazy doodle. Noodling. This is sometimes referred to as noodling. Just sketching around and drawing is I'm hearing this term noodling more and more these days. And so you have that up here. How does it bring it together? This color in the background is used as the color in the background here as well. So we have that contrast. So we have variety, top to bottom. We have variety in here. And then we have the text, which is a variety from like crazy to different. You can keep going, but unified in that they all work together. We have, I pointed out the red, but we also have the white, and that's used here. So the white's used everywhere as well. So there is, even though there's a ton of variety, it's also harmonious. And I feel like that's like the big takeaway, is using all these cool things to make harmony and variety work together for a cohesive piece. I gotta change this piece. I put this in here similar to this piece, but I hate this piece. I just don't like it. But what it is, it's super painterly background, right? Super, super painterly. And then we have this like very different font on it. It's sort of this weird serif, not serif, sans serif, but not sans serif. Like it's a very strange font. And then they have this like really just like weird painterly, we want it to look like chalk or something. And then this very distinct font. I gotta change this piece. I mean, it's all over the place too. So if you look at the piece too, and I can start doing, this color is here, the black is here, the yellow is here, the purple is the overlying. There's more black here, so the black is there, and there. This purple is up here, separated out. But then there's this color that's varietal. These two are the same. I mean, it works. It's not my favorite piece. There's the other thing though. Just because a designer likes something, and I'm very much about this. I like what I like, and then I share it. You don't have to like what I like. And you should, that's why I have you all go out and like look at all these different book covers, album covers, posters. It's like, start seeing like what really is it like, ooh, I like this a lot. I don't like this. I like this. And you cannot like stuff. There is a designer, a very, very popular designer out there. I don't like the designer stuff, but I respect the designer, what they do. But whenever I see their stuff, I'm like, nah, I don't know why people are so crazy about it. But other people are like, in love with this designer. So it gets a little crazy. Here we have This one, variety. We have a real soft image. You know, somebody just lazing around on a Sunday afternoon, staring off into nothingness, bored, laying, you know, scrunched up on a chair. And then we put in these like crazy, you know, triangles of different sizes, shapes to outline the person in such a great way. But it adds something. This poster wouldn't be the poster it is if we simply just had the person on there. And then there would be a ton of problems. One, I'd be like, this figure needs to be moved over. Why are they covered up with text? But because we have this flow in here of this geometric pattern on top of a soft, curvy, like nothing's, you know, everything's curved lines in the image. It works really well. And then again, what do we have? We have a font that is sans serif condensed, used with a serif font that is normal, not condensed. And then we have it 1, 2, 3, and then broken up with 1 and 2. So this is that kind of like that space pattern and spacing and proximity. That's all what this is about. And then this final one that we talk about is with the color. And then we have yellow is used. One color is used to separate out some of the most important information on this page. What's important about this thing going on? Vintage yard sale, not just your average one. Somehow it's vintage. And then when, where, and what are all highlighted in yellow as well. So it's like letting us know by color, because the whole poster itself is very muted. They did a fantastic job, like matching this gray cardboard, which kind of, I will say, like, is a garage sale-y kind of thing, but then that color is used in this wood floor, and so that works out great. There's actually some in this telephone, so you could call it I may have mentioned working in threes, so it's 1, 2, 3. Each image is very, like, even though it's colored, it's very black and white, you know, toned down. So they're like, it's black, black, black. It's very cool. But then, yeah, what do you have? And then you have, again, the most important information. Not only is it in yellow, it is in a serif font, while everything else is in sans serif. So we have that variety there to help us disseminate the information that we're reading when we look at this piece. Variety. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns about variety? All right, cool. Let's move on. Let me keep that up for a minute. All right, variety research. Final one in InDesign. I'll make sure that gets highlighted. Set it up. Don't forget about your bleed. Don't forget about pulling the background all the way to the bleed. People are getting a little, well, I don't know. Some people have already finished the class. But make sure you do it correctly. This is something you have to do as a graphic designer for every piece that you design. It's just not me being irritating. Oh, he makes us create all these weird things. Like, no, this is required. When you send something to print, they're going to be like, oh, what's the bleed? Where are the crop marks? Where's this? So when you develop it into your creativity workflow, it's just the first thing you do. Like, oh, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to make sure there's bleed. And I'm going to make sure I have a margin so I know where not to go. Bleed so I know where, you know, if there's a mess up, they have extra room. It's all there. It's part of the process. I'm not just doing it to be irritating. And then we export them, send them up, and we'll see what you got. So final one. Yeah. Final one. Use all those tools that you quickly learn. The variety project, final one. This one is set up. I'll get this outputted as well. I'm going through and updating everything, just making things hopefully clear if they're not clear enough, but even more clear. Here's our final. Variety in color, variety in shape, variety in typography. Have some fun, play around, try something you haven't tried before. Go crazy with it. This is the one to go crazy. Have some fun with it. I mean, that's really it. And then as we come to the conclusion, Project B, the final, it's due on Sunday. Like all this stuff is due on Sunday. Just like with the posters, these are due tonight. I will check them all tomorrow morning. Get back to you with a few changes. 1, 2, or 3, not a lot. I keep it really low key. Make sure you're putting everything into the presentation template. You know, I've had that question was asked, and then some people are just uploading like just the poster. I'm like, no, I want to see your work through. I want to see your progress, your process. It's called a process book is what you're creating. It needs to have the graphic designer name and photo, a minimum of 5 examples of the work, 2 paragraphs about the graphic designer, and the site where you got the written information, or many sites. Place your final pamphlet into the design template. Place your pamphlet in the real world invited. Mock-up included. Here it is. And this is the same as the poster. You can just place these in Photoshop, just like I did with the poster, and just place them on top at this point. If you're good and you know Photoshop, or you took Photoshop, or you're comfortable, you can do stuff like cutting parts out or using a layer blend mode, like overlay, so like the shadows come through and stuff. But I'm not looking for you to do that right now. I just want you to place like front cover, back cover, and then the 2 inside pages, and get them sized in here to look really cool, and you are done. Let me show you examples of that, just in case you're a little bit nervous about it. One, don't be nervous about it. Do the best you can. Here's one. Cover, back cover, inside pages. Here's another one. Cover, back, inside pages. This person sort of knew how to do the blend mode. Just get it in there. And then in the future, you're going to learn how to do it better, and then it'll be really great. So yeah, I'm very excited to see these pamphlets tomorrow morning. And yeah, is there any questions, comments, or concerns at this point? All right, I'll keep checking on things. Like I said, I'll do this tomorrow morning as fast as I can in the morning, so everybody has plenty of time to put in an hour or 2 final. You can start knocking out all the rest of the assignments, and Sunday by midnight, it's the last part. I think I'm up on grading on everything, so you know what you're getting, minus the things that are due tonight and then Tuesday, Thursday. And yeah, I'm around. Feel free to send me messages. I'll check over the weekend in case there's a problem, something happens. But the whole site, the Blackboard will kind of close out. It closes out on Sunday at midnight. Like there's no more access to it. And then I grade it after that. So if you ever think like there might be a problem, don't wait to do your work until Sunday. Do it on Saturday, and then you can get a hold of me and be like, something happened, and then we can fix it for Sunday. So, all right. That's it for me for this semester. I had a great time. I look forward to hopefully seeing all of you in the future when we get to the 3rd semester, or who knows what will happen. Maybe I'll see you sooner. I wish you all well. Thanks for a great semester. Enjoy the winter break. Make sure you register for new classes so we can see you in the upcoming semester. And always feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have questions, comments, concerns about MATC and the graphic design program at all. All right. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.